Hi guys, Stu here with a new video, and this video is a discussion video about World of Warcraft, and more precisely 10.1.5. And a lot of people are kind of hoping on next patch to be the savior patch for PvP, which I am sorry to burst that bubble. Let me be clear, 10.1.5 looks like something that is going to be quite hype for the balance changes, and for example the mage rework, the holy Paladin rework, all those things are quite cool, but I don't think the gameplay is the issue for PvPers. Maybe for PvE, I do not know about PvE, but for PvP I know for a fact gameplay is not an issue. Personally, I think gameplay wise Dragonflight is probably one of the best, if not the best expansion for PvP. Balance changes, balance wise, sometimes it is abysmal, but I think like purely if you could straight up like do unlimited games without queues, and you had like a normal MMR system that they really didn't like touch it like until like recently, I think the game would be very cool and very nice. And yes, balance changes would be needed for a few specs, like for example outlaw, rogue, and DKs. But as a whole, I think most players would be happy about Dragonflight. Right now, people are not happy about Dragonflight because of the queues, because of the healer imbalances, the burstiness that some healers cannot heal through. So it means that there is just a specific amount of healers that can actually heal enough from the damage that is actually dealt with by other classes. The CC changes kind of helped, but really, if you play a bit more World of Warcraft, you don't really feel that much difference. You do feel difference, but it is mostly because of specific spec combinations. Like for example, rogues cannot really blind into sap, but they can do other things. They can do a stun into a blind into a sap. If they're like a bit creative about that, you can really do that. But again, there are ways for them to be able to be still very strong even with the CC changes. So I think really the main problem is the healer imbalances. The MMR system is like, I don't know what's happened there. They need to explain it somehow, some way. If it's not a bug, at least explain it. If it's a bug, at least explain it. If there is a reason, please do explain it. But so those are the problems, the main problems, I would say. Also, I think a lot of people just do not play because of balance, maybe, from a DK perspective or anything. But personally, I do not really play it because the game doesn't really let me play it. The LFG system is also still very old right now. I feel like they should revamp it somehow, some way. Make it easier for everyone to actually find groups, but also like a bit more fair, like not really... I do not know, man. It could be everything. It could do so much more, but whatever. Anyways, let's talk about 10.1.5. The issue is right now we are the 12th June, and for some parts in the world, maybe the 11th. We have a patch here that started the 11/05/2023, so it means that it's already 1 month into the patch cycle for like 10.1.5. and if we do believe the roadmap, if they do not stray about it, it means that in 15 days, something like that, you will have a new patch, which is 10.1.5. and for me, 15 days is not enough to actually like work on the problems, because they clearly didn't work about it. I'm going to explain what is currently on the PTR and why you should be concerned about the direction of the PTR, because often not, balancing is the last step, and right now we are like in full balancing changes. So for me, I don't think there will be much system changes about PvP. And there is no comment about PvP, which is even more concerning. So we got a new mega dungeon, great for PvE. If you like dungeons, all the power to you. New evoker specialization. Ha ha ha. They said in the interviews that they didn't know when it will come out, but it will be out in 10.1.5. and if you are like an evoker fan, yes, having an extra specialization is cool, but you must understand that it is going to be busted in PvP. Except if they put like heavy modifiers on it, it is going to be busted. It's going to be the first support class, I would say, like outside of healing, like pure support, and it will do some good damage as well. But it is going to enhance everyone, and a few specs are going to come out like very strong. But that's another topic, right? Time rifts, again, something players will join together to take it on. So it's like open world PvE, more or less. The warlock class expands to new races. Cool. Characters. So they changed a bit the leveling part. So all allied races are unlocked at level 40. Restrictions are also removed. New fur colors for Worgen. Cool for them. Characters level 10 to 60 that have not been logged in onto 60 days will get a welcome back gift. Cool. Level 10, level 20, level 30, level 40, you will get your riding skills from the get-go. I think it's fine, especially in retail where, to be honest, you don't really have class trainers, so why would you have that? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you have balancing changes, and those balancing changes, again, we could go over and over, and still they could change whenever you are like actually like watching on the PTR. It is going to be changing until the end of the cycle, and that's why I'm like concerned, because normally those things happen at the end. Now they did it from the get-go, so it means that maybe they learned something about balancing and how they need more testing to see if it's going to be busted or not. But it means that it takes too much power outside of the systems that should be changed for PvP, for example. So a lot of changes for Feral, Balance Druid, Evokers, a lot of changes as well. Mages, it's a whole rework, so you're going to probably enjoy it very much. Like all ability damage increased by 50%. Like all those things are going to be very noticeable. Now, is it going to be good? I do not know. But my opinion is it's always like refreshing to have reworks. That doesn't matter. Like even the Shadow Priest mini rework that we had in 10.1, it was cool, but I don't think that's a problem for PvP. I think the PvP is like gate kept by other things than balancing. So if you are like scrolling, you also have a Holy Paladin rework, which is going to be very fire, by the way. So if you like Holy Paladin, this is going to be great. Again, healers don't really suffer the same things as the DPSs. You suffer because of the comparison of other healers. So if you're like not meta, people are going to even like gloss over you instead of like take you into LFG, for example, especially at certain ratings. And since rating is so hard to get, you don't really want to lose because of like a healer imbalance in a arena match. So a lot of nerfs, buffs, but mostly buffs and changes that are going to be quite cool. Maybe I will cover it in the future, but we'll never know. Retribution, Paladin, a few changes here and there, but again, it's really minor. And you can scroll even further. Enhancement change, Shaman also a bit changes about mana, for example, etc. And demonology got also a bit of a rework if you're like a warlock fan. I think personally the rework is going to be bad. A lot of people are saying like being forced to do shadow bolts is a feels bad moment, especially since it doesn't do damage. If it did a bit of damage, I think it would be very nice. So yeah, we will have to see if it's going to be any good. And that's it for balancing changes in PvE. Now let's see if they change something on the PTR for PvP or for anything else. So they improved the items and rewards, nothing about PvP. And now we are on the PvP section. So we have PvP balancing changes. Cool. You would say like, look, there is balancing changes, so you would hope something would change, or like a comment about the current situation is in solo shuffle, right? Well, not really. So there is a few changes for Evoker, Arcane, Mage, whatever. Holy Paladin got a lot of changes. Again, because of the rework, they need to change a lot of things. A Priest and Affliction Warlock. And that's it. What? That's the PvP section. It's a 10.1.5 patch, which is often the PvP patch. You can see that as a PvP patch because they really want people to come back for the season, for example, or they really want for people to push different like kind of rewards or objectives. But clearly, we are already 1 month in the cycles of the patch, which is normally a 1.5 month cycle. Since the start of the Dragonflight, it is like this. So you can assume that it's going to come out like beginning of July or end of June. That's the goal normally. If they are putting it even further, it means that they are actually failing their roadmap. So you can maybe probably write for that. But there is no PvP changes. Nothing. The only thing that you're going to see about PvP is the PvP trinket status has been added to the right of the enemy's frame. Cool. Cool. Arena frame settings now. Cool. Edit modes. Cool. Oh, cool. Those are things that should have been in Dragonflight from the start, right? Character exclusives now show the prior player's specialization, arena frames, and fix an issue. That's all. That's all they actually like taught about PvP. No new BG. No actual like discussion about like rated solo shuffle, how they call it. The only thing that they actually added is an animated glow has been added to better highlight needed roles for rated solo shuffle. So you would say that people do not know that we have a healer shortage. So you think that people are like stupid. That's what you're telling me, because if you think that a PvPer, the average PvPer, the average DPSer that gets a 30-minute queue wouldn't think that the problem is their role and the healer shortage, right? And I'm telling you that because I am a DPS main. I do not want to heal, to be honest. And sometimes I heal. But if I heal, why would I go to social? I could just go for LFG, try to find a group, and have fun with that. Why would I suffer into soul shuffle while the MMR system is completely doo-doo? Like having issues to climb hard, like less efficiently than a DPS while we do the same games, right? Why would I put myself into that? Well, for example, in LFG, if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But the MMR is quite consistent. And if you win more, you will climb. Well, for example, right now, if you win more, you might stagnate and just stay where you are. So, and if you lose, you're going to lose even more. So it's not like you're losing less too. It's like you're losing a lot and you're winning like quite like very much, just a bit, right? So that's my issue right now with the PTR, and which I kind of make, I'm going to say, a lot of negative videos, is because they really just spit on PvP right now. Like there is nothing going on for PvP, nothing on Twitter, nothing on the WoW forums, nothing on the PTRs, nothing like interview wise. They're not. Did they interview in 10.1 a PvPer, by the way? No, they didn't. They didn't. Did you forget about it? That every single interview was about leveling, the world building, quests, the storytelling, the artwork, like all of these things. Cool for them, but where is PvP? Where is PvP? Are we just like insignificant? Because that is my feeling towards it. I was looking at, like, I was like thinking in my head, like, am I forgetting something? Did they talk about PvP in 10.1 or didn't they talk about PvP in 10.1? And they didn't talk about PvP in 10.1. They just announced AWC, that's it. That's the only communication from their part. And what I think is, Polinka, respect to him, I don't care, like he leaves for another company. Oh, good, man, we are all humans, so I would also leave for another company if it was like better. Anyways, he was like probably on a notice. So he probably gave his notice, because impossible someone of his level didn't get a notice, right? So it's not like they're going to say, oh, you want to leave? Okay, you're going to leave like the day one of when you want to leave, you can leave. I don't know how it works in America, but in Belgium, if you want to leave, and depending on the length of your contract, you have to have a certain amount of notice, or you pay yourself out, or they pay you out because you're like a crap employee, for example, or they just do not want you. Okay? So what I think is, in 10.1, when did it start? I think in May. And when did he leave? I think he left also in May. Since the PTR is up since April, I think, for 10.1, even end of March, and we had like nothing going on for PvP. I think he was on notice, which is probably like 2-month notice is something that I can't believe in. I don't know how it's working. It works in America or whatever. I think he just didn't really work on PvP. He worked on the current states of gameplay. That's it, because he was also a gameplay director, by the way. He was like overviewing gameplay, not only like the combat, I would say, but not only the PvP. So what I think is what happened is he didn't really work on PvP because that was not his objective. They told him like literally just try to fix what is currently on the game, and that's it. Like then you can leave on a Friday, how he mentioned. And that's what's happening. And then he tweets like, I'm excited for PvP because of the team's direction or whatever. That's all cool and well, but that is meaningless if we do not know what's happening or what is the plan. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think that they abandoned PvP because of that, because of him leaving and kind of like stalling because of the notice. And that's why currently they're probably like looking into interviews who is going to be head of PvP, because we do not know who is head of PvP or gameplay. We don't know both of them. So it means that they're probably doing interviews or they're assessing like employees to get like the higher position or whatever. But that's why it's a stalemate right now, and why you should not have high hopes for 10.1.5. Now I said unless in the title, unless they actually like move pieces into the communication part, into the PTR. Maybe they will do a big PTR patch where they have everything lined up for PP and my video is like useless, which I doubt. But again, prove me wrong. I want to be proved wrong. I want to be like reading on Wowhead and saying, look, my video is really bad, I should take it down. I want to have that feeling, but for now, the feeling is not going to be happening because there is no indication that they're going to fix PvP. So yeah, Dragonflight, a expansion that probably was the best expansion all around PvP gameplay, whatever. Since the beginning of like vanilla, I would say that it was the best one with Soul Shofar and such, and the queues were like not that long, like 10 minutes queues. 10 minutes is still long, but it's like acceptable, right? You're sitting 10 minutes in the queue and then 10 minutes of gameplay, 10 minutes of queue, 10 minutes. But then they changed something about the healers, they changed about the MMR, and then it dropped that drastically. But for me, Dragonflight was really the best expansion. And then you had like Shadowlands a bit, and then you had Mob, Cataclysm, WOD, and then you had the rest. But right now, Dragonflight, I can't even put in. For me, it's on the same level as Wrath of the Lich King. And Wrath of the Lich King, why was it like very high for me? It's because of the gameplay, the PvP as well. It was also the start of like serious PvP, and TBC, where I still think it was a bit contrived to get like the best gear. You still had to go do a lot of PvE. Same for Pip Bottle, right? I would say Dragonflight is really around that level, even maybe lower than that. So it's a bit of shame, right? It's a bit of shame that it can drop like 3 or 4 tiers just basically because of their inability to actually see further and try to work their way into something good. But anyways, I rambled a bit too much, but I wanted to explain a bit my thoughts and how I don't think they will fix it, at least not right now. Maybe a 10.1.7 patch, but even then, that's also like 3 months that we have to wait until now. So I think if we have to wait 3 months, PvP scene is probably dead. AWC will not save that, by the way. It will not. It will not. People will compete. People will watch it like from afar, but the numbers are going to be terrible. The negativity on the streams is going to be on like to the roof. And balancing wise, it's not that good, but I mean, all the power to the pros. But hopefully they do understand that AWC will not like spike up the activity on PvP, because that's never happening because of that. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and we will catch each other very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.